So, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our side event on a Japan-Malaysia city-to-city carbon neutral collaborations. This is celebrating side event at the 40th anniversary of the Look East policy, LEP. We have a 90 minutes side event and then organized by the IGES, Institute of Global Environmental Strategies, UTM, University Technology Malaysia, MOEJ Minister of the Environment Japan. So this event will show up the best practices between collaboration between Japan and Malaysia, especially on a city activity, because local action is one of the key to make it happen towards the low carbon, zero carbon, 1.5-degree world. So first, I would like to invite Mr. Yasuo Takahashi, my boss, Executive Director of the IGES, for the opening remarks. So Takahashi-san, please have your opening remarks.
Hello. Thank you for your introduction and thank you for joining us, everybody. My name is Yasuo Takahashi, Executive Director of the Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, or IGES. On behalf of IGES, one of the organizers, it is my great pleasure and honor to make opening remarks for this side event titled the Japan-Malaysia City-to-City Carbon Neutral Collaboration, celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Look East policy. First of all, I sincerely thank our co-organizers, namely the University Technology Malaysia, UTM, and the Minister of the Environment of Japan for their kind collaboration. Since former Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir bin Mohamad introduced Look East policy in 1982, this year is the 40th anniversary. During these 40 years, Malaysia has made a significant achievement in economic development and has become one of the major economies in Asian region. And it means that Malaysia is also one of the key countries for the sustainable establishment of the sustainable society in rapid growing Asian region. We have been making close collaboration on climate actions, especially city-to-city collaborations toward carbon neutral society. And this side event focusing on collaborative climate actions between Japan and Malaysia, and as well as discuss the way forward. IGES has conducted research activities on low or zero carbon scenarios or no roadmaps development with UTM and other relevant organizations utilizing AIM, Asia Pacific Integrated Model, more than 10 years at national and local levels. Based on these outcomes based on the outcomes of these active collaborations, I am pleased that we can now introduce our best practices through these activities, which are useful to take concrete actions. In this side event, we'll have framework presentations by the leading researchers from IGES and UTM, and we will also have here case studies based on the two excellent examples of city-to-city collaboration. One is collaboration between Kuala Lumpur, Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and Saitama City, and another is collaboration between Iskandar, Malaysia, Johor Bahru City, and Kyoto City. I would like to congratulate all the parties engaged in this city-to-city collaboration on their excellent achievement. In particular, the collaboration between Tokyo and Kuala Lumpur, who received the C40 Climate Bloomberg Philanthropy Award recently. Congratulations. We also pleased to invite representatives from youth in the discussion part of this event, and we look forward to listening fresh observations from the perspective of youth for further accelerating actions and in national and global scale. To conclude, I would like to thank all the participants, speakers, and audience for this event. And I sincerely hope we can have a fruitful event this evening. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Executive Director Takahashi Sensei. And I'd like to introduce or welcome Deputy Vice Chancellor of UTM, Dr. Hisham Mohamad Ali, to give his welcoming remark. And the remark will be in video. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin Ashrafil Anbiya'i wal Mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Eminent speakers, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Greetings and a very good day to all of you from Malaysia. Firstly, I would like to thank the Institute of Global Environmental Strategies, or IGES, for inviting me to the Japan Pavilion site event. I am honored to have this opportunity to briefly address this meaningful event that celebrates 40 years of fruitful partnership between Japan and Malaysia, with a special focus on collaboration on climate actions between the two countries, in which University Technology Malaysia has played and continue to play a highly significant role. This is not enough time to recount UTM's many research and academic contributions related to the 4-decade Look East policy, but I am proud to highlight 3 significant outcomes related to the sustainability and climate agenda, including, number 1, the setting up in UTM of the Malaysia-Japan International Institute of Technology, or MJIIT, whose history dated back to 5th November 2001, and whose mission includes providing Japanese-style engineering education blended with Malaysia's distinctiveness for sustainable industry and society. Number 2, the Science and Technology Research Partnership for Sustainable Development, SATREPS program that provided a 200 million Japanese yen grant to UTM for the development of low-carbon society scenarios in the Asian regions in 2011 to 2016. And number 3, the setting up the UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center, or UTM LCARC, at UTM's Faculty of Built Environment and Surveying in 2013, which has contributed tremendously to science-based climate policymaking and climate actions in Malaysia. The UTM Low Carbon Asia Research Center has been the pioneer in low-carbon society for the past 10 years and is continuing to lead the nation towards a transition into net zero emission by 2050. I am proud that UTM LCARC has produced concrete science-based climate policies and action plans for 18 Malaysian cities and provided advice and expert views to various federal agencies on climate change. And the spirit of the Look East policy and mutual learning between Malaysian and Japanese research institutions in tackling climate change, UTM LCARC has continued to work closely with Japanese counterparts, including Kyoto University, Okayama University, the National Institute for Environmental Studies, or NIES, the Institute for Built Environment and Carbon Neutral for SDGs, or IBECS, Tokyo Metropolitan Government, or TMG, Saitama City, and of course, IGES itself, among others. I believe the long-time Japan-Malaysia collaboration will continue to flourish and contribute significantly to Asia and the world's transition into a carbon-neutral future by 2050. I would like to thank and congratulate IGES and UTM LCARC on the organization of this side event. I must also thank the panel of distinguished speakers who will be sharing their valuable knowledge and expert views in addressing the said event theme. And I wish you all an enjoyable and fruitful event. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yeah, thank you very much, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, and then. Okay. Just a moment. So ですね。ちょっとすみません。そうですね。これです。はい。いやいや、マジでダメこのまま。はい。I'm sorry, I have some trouble with handling this the screen, but thank you very much, Dr. Shamuddin. Also, then I would like to invite the Mr. Hiroshi Ono, Vice Minister for Global Environmental Affairs, Minister of Environment Japan, for welcome remarks as the one of the co-organizer of this side event. So, Ono-san, so please come to the podium.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Fujino-san, for your introduction. I'm Hiroshi Ono, Vice Minister for Global Environment Affairs of Ministry of the Environment, Japan. First of all, thank you very much for joining this side event. And also, thank you, University Technology Malaysia and IGES for co-organizing this event. I'd like to say a few words on behalf of the Ministry of the Environment, Japan. In 1981, the Look East policy was launched in Malaysia to learn from the experience of Japan's economic growth after the World War II. This year marks the 40th anniversary of the commemoration. I appreciate the continued cooperation and friendship between Japan and Malaysia throughout this long period. During the ASEAN-Japan Summit meeting held last year, Japan put forward the ASEAN-Japan Climate Change Action Agenda 2.0 to help ASEAN's transition to a decarbonized and resilient society. This initiative includes the promotion of zero carbon cities, as cities contribute 70% or more of global greenhouse gas emissions. Thus, their rapid transition is crucial for global decarbonization. Turning to Japan, we are taking concrete steps to create 100 or more decarbonization leading areas. which strive to realize carbon neutrality by 2030, which is 20 years ahead of national target year of 2050. Demonstrated best practices in these areas are expected to be replicated across Japan and even beyond the national border through international city-to-city collaboration. Japan will continue to support the activities of local governments abroad through a city-to-city collaboration program. The program has already linked 45 cities and regions in the world with 20 Japanese local governments. I would also like to commend Malaysia's policies for decarbonization and economic development at the national and city levels. Both countries have a significant opportunity to collaborate each other as we share a common view that decarbonization is not a constraint to the economy. It can bring forth strong, sustainable economic growth through the transformational changes of industrial structures, stimulation of investments, and increase of productivity. Finally, I sincerely hope that today's side event will contribute to sustainable development and decarbonization of both Malaysia and Japan. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vice Minister Ono Sensei. Now we will move to the next stage, whereby after this opening and welcoming remarks, we have two case studies. One is Kuala Lumpur with Tokyo, and another case study is Iskandar, Malaysia with Kyoto University. So first of all, I would like to introduce the first city, that is Kuala Lumpur. And I would like to invite Datuk Sri Mahathir Cegna, Mayor of Kuala Lumpur, to present online on the case of Kuala Lumpur towards carbon neutral and the working closely with this Tokyo Metropolitan Government as well as Saitama City. Thank you. Datuk Sri, please.
Good afternoon to all. Thank you, Dr. Fujino-san and Professor Dr. Ho for the kind introduction. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to first extend my utmost appreciation to our hosts today, the Ministry of the Environment, Government of Japan, Institute for Global Environmental Strategies, IGES, and University of Technology Malaysia, UTM, for the kind invitation. The fact that we are today able to celebrate 40 years of the Look East policy marks the strength of the bond built between Japan and Malaysia. Indeed, Japan continues to be one of our strongest supporters in Kuala Lumpur's journey to carbon neutrality for the sake of future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia's capital city has come a long way indeed. First established in the 19th century as an unassuming tin mining settlement, Kuala Lumpur has since experienced tremendous growth and evolution throughout the decades. Today, with a population of 2 million people spread across 243 square kilometers, our city stands strong as Malaysia's cultural and economic axis. It is the beating heart and pulse of our nation, as well as one of the leading cities in the world. Given our position as a regional employment hub, we are proud to be home to many financial institutions, international organizations, and multinational companies. With 13.78 million visitors in 2019, we are among the most visited cities in the world, as you can see on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, while as Mayor of Kuala Lumpur, I am more than proud of the enormous leaps and bounds Kuala Lumpur has achieved. I am highly cognizant of the importance of balancing this growth with the ability to withstand the challenges of climate change. Serving as a guide for us to mitigate climate change through proactive climate actions, our in-house carbon management plan for energy in 2015 acted as the first spark as part of our low carbon journey. This was followed by the Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon Society Blueprint 2030, Kuala Lumpur Structure Plan 2040, and the Kuala Lumpur Climate Action Plan 2050, as can be seen on the screen. In our quest to create a livable, sustainable city, we must ensure that our action plans are aligned with current global sustainability best practices and standards. This includes the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or in short SDGs, which ensure that our city is on a sustainable path towards a brighter future for all. We have also taken proactive measures to raise public awareness of our sustainability agenda by establishing our very own UN Habitat endorsed Kuala Lumpur SDG Center. Ladies and gentlemen, we announced Kuala Lumpur's vision to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 at the 2021 United Nations Climate Change Conference, or COP27. I am pleased to share that to date, we have initiated various climate change mitigation and adaptation programs, some of which include working towards increasing the usage of renewable energy across Kuala Lumpur City Hall owned buildings and areas under our jurisdictions. For example, we have retrofitted buildings and public amenities with energy efficient equipment and solar PVs. To date, we have reduced 32.35 kilotons of CO2 through this effort. Working to create more carbon sinks in the city by planting more trees. Since 2010, we have planted 447,574 trees, contributing to the CO2 absorption of 7,400 kilotons. Accelerating recycling efforts, whereby our public housing tenants can offset their monthly rent by recycling. Kuala Lumpur City Hall is also assisting NGOs to set up temporary recycling centers at suitable locations. By the end of 2021, it is estimated that 47.3 kilotons CO2 of solid waste in Kuala Lumpur have been recycled. To further encourage a low carbon culture among KLites, we are organizing outreach programs with schools and resident associations to educate students and KLites on the impact of climate change. Given that vehicles are among the primary sources of carbon emissions in urban areas, we have deployed 60 Kuala Lumpur City Hall electric buses across the city. We are confident that This will significantly reduce carbon emissions in the city. We have since reduced 563 tons CO2. Apart from electric vehicles, we are also encouraging KLites to adopt walking and cycling by developing a complete pedestrian walkway and bicycle lane network with shady trees throughout the city. Recently, we established a car-free area within Kuala Lumpur, which is now fully pedestrianized and has been brought to life with street artists, buskers, entertainers, cultural performances, and food carts, as you can see on the screen. A key undertaking driving us forward in our low carbon journey is our pilot project to transform the suburb of Wansamaju into Kuala Lumpur's very first carbon neutral growth center. The Wansamaju Carbon Neutral Growth Center will focus on 5 key areas, which are energy, mobility, community, green and open spaces, and waste. A significant feature of this township is that it will encompass the concept of a 15-minute city, which will provide residents with access to daily necessities within a 15-minute walk or bike ride, thus helping to reduce daily carbon emissions. Ladies and gentlemen, I must highlight here that our collaboration, both locally and internationally, have been critical in overcoming urban challenges. This includes collaboration with universities, NGOs, government agencies, and private agencies, amongst others. As I mentioned earlier, Japan has and continues to be a very important partner for us. Some of our most important collaborations include working together with the IGES as well as the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, or TMG, on the Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon Society project for energy efficiency and low carbon efforts. It brings me great pleasure to note that Kuala Lumpur and Tokyo have been recognized at the 2022 C40 Cities and Bloomberg Philanthropist Awards under the theme of United in Building a Climate Movement. We are pleased to be together with Japan to pave the way for carbon neutrality in the region and trust that our collaboration will not only benefit both cities, but also become a model program that will inspire similar cooperative efforts among other cities around the globe. We continue to be appreciative to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government for their continued assistance and readiness to work together with Kuala Lumpur City Hall. Recently, Tokyo and Kuala Lumpur signed a letter of intention to accelerate efforts to reach sustainability and livability for both cities. On behalf of the city of Kuala Lumpur, I hope to initiate more low carbon initiatives with not only the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, but also other municipal counterparts from Japan. It would be our honor to work with Saitama City to learn about their approach in developing initiatives for a smart city, as well as Itabashi City in accelerating localization efforts to achieve the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Japanese companies in Malaysia have also been our strong partners. We are very proud to announce that Aeon, the renowned Japanese retail store chain, has been one of our main supporters in fast-tracking low-carbon visibility. Aeon Wansemajo has installed solar panels on their rooftops and parking areas, provided recycling centers in the mall, as well as a dedicated section for the public to learn more about sustainability, as you can see on the screen. As a conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, together we have reached many milestones since the establishment of the Look East policy some 4 decades ago. Together, let us work towards ensuring that the ties between our two countries are strengthened from year to year for the sake of our country's continued peace and prosperity. To 40 years of friendship and to many more years of a mutually fruitful relationship between our two nations. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you, Professor Dr. Ho and Dr. Fujino-san.
Thank you very much, Dato Seri Mahathir, for your great presentation, even though your city now is hard time for the flash flood. Nowadays, every month, KL has a flash flood. So then your city needs mitigation and also adaptation side. Yeah, thank you for joining this event, even very late night time. Now it's 11 something. Yeah. And then now I would like to invite the partner, Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Ms. Toshiko Chiba, Climate Change Policy Specialist and Director, Climate Change and Energy Division, Bureau of Environment, Tokyo Metropolitan Government. Chiba-san, so it's a very, very late night in Tokyo now, but the floor is yours, so over to you.
Thank you very much for the warm introduction, Fujino-san. Can you hear me?
Yes, very much.
Okay. My name is Toshiko Chiba from Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So firstly, it is a great honor for the Tokyo Metropolitan Government to participate in this memorable event for Japan and Malaysia. Following the excellent and energetic speech from Dato Seri Mahathir, Mayor of Kuala Lumpur, I will share Tokyo's journey with you. As a global megalopolis, Tokyo has set several 2030 goals, such as carbon half target. That means Tokyo will, by 2030, reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 50% from year 2000 levels. So in Tokyo, building accounts for more than 70% of energy-related CO2 emissions. That's why we have been investing our energy passionately into this area since 2000.
千葉さん、
はい。
slide show にして、can you turn this mode for slideshow?
Okay.
Just fast.
Sorry. That's fast. Okay, next. And third page. Okay, next. Sorry. Tokyo has operated several building programs from the period of planning to renovation stage by Tokyo Ordinance. The key policy program is the mandatory CO2 emissions reduction program for large-size existing buildings implemented in 2010 by Tokyo Ordinance. We call this program the Tokyo Cap and Trade program. Most big buildings, including our city halls, national government properties, hotels, department stores, data centers, and hospitals are under this program. They are mandated to cut their CO2 emissions in blocks of 5-year period. After its implementation, covered facilities have conducted several measures, from operational measures to the installation of highly energy efficient equipment, such as heat source equipment and LED lights. In 2020, covered facilities achieved 33% reduction levels from base year emissions. We, Tokyo, announced the introduction of this program in 2007. Through the consultation process, we faced various opposition from business groups. For example, there are no technical and supportive evidence of further energy consumption reduction. We proved on this to them using the data we had collected. We shared these experiences to DBKL. Tokyo and DBKL have started our fruitful and practical collaboration with UTM, SEDA, and IGES. In the first stage, from 2019, we Tokyo tried to transfer some of our practical policy to DBKL based on our knowledge, experiences, including lots of failure we Tokyo has accumulated. DBKL had already had the policy direction regarding the low carbon building in their blueprint. Following their strong aspiration that want to reduce CO2 emissions of their own properties, we Tokyo suggested the needed steps and know-how, such as how to collect data in order to analyze the reduction potential and create the countermeasures list. Using these materials and based on dozens of meetings, DBKL has started their prioritized green investments in their city properties. All members from Malaysia side were always energetic, so full of energy. To be honest, I feel that what is given by them is greater. As one of the members involved in this collaboration, I remembered that I felt Tokyo should be able to do more at every meeting. It can be said that creation the policy program is kind of modest work, but stacking one by one is really important and essential. And we can find again that the problems and the worries city has are same. As a result of these efforts being highly evaluated, DBKL and Tokyo won the C40 Cities Blue Band Award last month. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mayor Mahathir and all staff members from DBKL. I am also convinced that this achievement would not have been possible without the cooperation of Ho Sensei and Chai Sensei from UTM, Steve from SEDA, Sugawara-san and Masuda-san from TMG, Ministry of Environment Japan, and Fujino-san, Nakano-san from IGES. I believe that this award is also a proof of our deep friendship. However, this is also the start for the next step for both cities. So in the wake of climate and energy crisis, Tokyo aimed to update our social infrastructure towards decarbonized city. Taking advantage of Tokyo's strength, a city where buildings accumulate, we reinforced the measure on building and the district in terms of reducing energy consumption, generating the power, storing and using such a power. We have realized that now it's a time to act towards the integrated promotion of decarbonization and energy security. So, at the Tokyo's policy direction of building measures toward 2030, we aim to standardize the specification of zero-emission buildings at the time of construction And we also try to transform existing buildings into carbon half buildings at the operation stage. Based on this, we have a plan to revise our building policy by amending the Tokyo Ordinance. Tokyo and DBKL have already developed our partnerships in other fields such as urban infrastructure. Tokyo will continue to cooperate with DBKL and Saitama City and other cities around the world and contributing to global decarbonization. Thank you very much, and telemakashi.
Thank you very much, Chiba-san, for the presentation and also to, it's a good kind of the memory, but also it's a starting point to have the further work for the carbon half and then zero carbon city by 2050. And thank you very much. And Dr. Seri Mahadi, do you have any words to the Chiba-san, if you have?
Chiba-san, very good words and a nice speech. I really like it. And as Chiba-san mentioned, we definitely wanted to continue our friendship and collaboration so that we can gain more. What more, your word there is very good. Time to act. Actually, this is the time to act. Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Fujino-san and Dr. Ho.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Seri Mahadi and Chiba-san. Okay, then now I would like to invite my also partner, Dr. Ho Chin-shong, to share the kind of the background and then an overview of these research and then activities. So we have more than 10 years to do these kind of city-to-city collaboration. So he will introduce when we start this kind of activity and how it goes, and then now what kind of challenge we have. Yeah, will it work? Oh, okay. Sometimes it's no. Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Fujino-san. Yeah. After hearing, I think from the both cities, one of very successful story, and until we got an award from C40, I'll quickly just go through the framework, where we start and how we go ahead, and what are the climate action initiative that to strengthen this city-to-city collaboration between Malaysian and Japanese cities. As we know that Malaysia's government have actually announced carbon neutral nation in a 12 Malaysian plan recently. And actually, this is very important message to all the local government that we have to move forward to achieve this carbon neutrality. And as we are working on this local level, we really need a lot of collaboration with cities. And I think Japan government provide these opportunities for us to work together with some of the major cities like Tokyo, Saitama, and Kyoto. In this presentation later, we will invite our speaker from Iskandar, Malaysia, and I think Kyoto City to share the example. But before that, let me just go through with you some of the important points that I'd like to highlight. I think for any climate action, science to action is very important. I think this is where we harness the contribution of Japanese science and technology sustainable development approach into Malaysian cities. In fact, the introduction of low carbon society during our study together with NIES, with IGES, and Kyoto University, we began to see that there are a few strong points that the collaboration started. I would here like to point out one is Malaysian-Japan Institute of Technology, or MJIT in Kuala Lumpur. This is one of the collaboration between Malaysian government and Japanese government in order to provide science and research, especially in climate change, to Malaysian cities. The second most important one is the SEFRAP, or Science and Technology Research Partnership Program, We're involving University Technology Malaysia, NIES, IGES, Kyoto University, and Yokohama University. I think these are the ones that provide us the science, the modeling, and the methodology how to go about to achieve carbon neutrality. The second part, which I like to highlight, is the city-to-city collaboration. I think this is, as mentioned just now, by Kuala Lumpur and Tokyo Metropolitan Government. And later part, we will introduce the Iskandar Malaysia and Kyoto City as well as Toyama cities to achieving this carbon neutrality. I think very importantly, Malaysian government is actually, Malaysia is a kind of developing countries. We are trying to achieve high income nation as well as inclusiveness and sustainability. And I think very importantly is we are going to address climate change as well as the co-benefit of these policies or low carbon society policies. Okay, if you look at the first one, is actually the MJIT. MJIT was established in 2011. I think this have already provided a lot of Japanese-style engineering education to young Malaysian and international students. And these universities have provided a lot of R&D and green engineering, as well as disaster risk management for Malaysian government to implement some of the policies. The second most important one is the subset project, as I mentioned. This is one of the projects that involve development of low carbon society for Asian region in 2011. And I think this project takes about 5 years to complete, and there are a lot of outcomes from there. One of the very important outcome is the CO2 modeling or LCS blueprint for a case of Iskandar Malaysia. And for information, Iskandar Malaysia is one of the fastest growing region in Asia. And if we can decarbonize Iskandar Malaysia, we can decarbonize many of the Asian region. So I think this is one of the very important things. And output-wise, first is the output of methodology. I think during this time, we still couldn't find a method how to develop or how to calculate carbon emission for city level. So this subset project provides a very important platform or background for us to work together with Kyoto University and NIES on AIM modeling. So this Asian integrated modeling provides us a good example how to do GHG emission calculation at the local level. Secondly is the output in terms of development of a low carbon society blueprint and a kind of master plan for cities. And I think this methodology or this LCS blueprint have been used now in Vietnam, in Indonesia, as well as in Cambodia. So this has been a very important contribution in terms of the result. Thirdly is how do we go about to make action that more close to people? That is by setting up low carbon society action plan. It's not only the blueprint, but the action plan. How do we implement it at the ground level? So we have done it with 5 local authorities. And I think the fourth one output is the most important is the setting up of UTM Low Carbon Society Center, where under this subset program, we have not only prepared those 4 important cities, but also we have also worked on another 8 additional cities. There's Muar, Hang Tuah Jaya, Tawau, Penampang, and then the new one is Putrajaya, Petaling Jaya, Iskandar Puteri, and Skamat. So I think these are all the new cities that we have worked on their carbon emission. And I think, as mentioned by Dato' Sri Mahathir, we have already moved from low carbon society to a carbon neutral city now. And of course, we have identified about 25 projects, which is working closely with Tokyo Metropolitan Government. And I think Dato' Sri Mayor have already explained the 5 important sectors, more on the solar PV, on the EV bus, on the LCS education, as well as recycling, green spaces, and aerobic digester. And actually using the AIMS model, we have already able to predict or able to provide the pathway how to calculate carbon for city of Kuala Lumpur to achieve carbon neutrality. And this will be the projection that we do for Kuala Lumpur to achieve carbon neutrality by 2050 with about 90% reduction and 8% depend on our offsetting. I think with that, this is very important. It's in line with the Malaysian National Low Carbon Society Master Plan. And we hope that this continuous collaboration with Japanese government would able to help more cities towards carbon neutral in the near future. And then these are some of the reports that we have done together with IGES and IGES. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for to share the history of the low carbon society scenario development, and then how your activity expand from in the Malaysia, and also this kind of activity is just not only in the Malaysia but also nowadays Thailand or Indonesia, Vietnam, Cambodia, and many ASEAN countries or other countries. So I also would like to have very quick one. Yeah, I'd like to use this slide, but anyhow, yeah, this COP, it's an implementation COP. The first day, the UNFCCC Executive Secretary, the Simon Steele, he mentioned implementation. And then about the Japan-Malaysia project, in the very beginning, we start a scenario development analysis, and then to show the vision for the leaders or the citizens, whether the low carbon society can be happen or not. And then if we see the scenario roadmap, and many people can follow. But the next question that is how to make it happen. So then now we have a project between Kuala Lumpur and Tokyo, and then Tokyo is a top runner to start the cap and trade scheme in the city level in 2008. And then Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur start the low carbon project from 2016 or 17. So now we, how to say, coupling the KL and Tokyo, because the KL side needs the best practices. And then this is the reason we started this journey, supported by Ministry of Environment Japan City to City Collaboration Fund. And then now Kuala Lumpur City secure their own budget to do the public retrofit, public building retrofit, or renewable energy installation. So, すみません。3番目です。はい、すみません。So, this is kind of the step we need to, follow up, and then, yeah. It's a bit technical to use this slide here, so sorry for taking your time. Yeah, now it may go. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. So then, as the Chiba-san mentioned, then we start this new journey to having implementation collaboration. For example, the Kuala Lumpur City herself secures their own budget to do the public procurement for the building energy efficiency improvement. So then now we try to develop kind of the procurement, public procurement roadmap, because the KL has 2,000 public buildings, and then many buildings have the very low energy efficiency devices, and we know that when these devices installed, so then if we have a very good plan, then we can do the quite a designed public procurement. Also renewable, like KL or like Tokyo Metropolitan Government, newly they develop kind of the obligation to ask the building company to set the renewable energy on the roof. Yeah, these kind of ordinance policy are quite necessary for the especially the large city. So next time, I know that the KL also set the 30% target for the buildings to do the renewable energy. So yeah, this trend, if the KL and the TMG can go ahead, I think it's quite a good signal to the world. And then what's the module? So for the phase 2, we not only look for the like a single building and single renewable energy, but also we now look for the like area, like a community, once a module. It's like as the Ono-san mentioned, MOEJ started the decarbonization leading areas. And this once a module is a kind of decarbonization leading areas in a KL. They try to do the zero carbon by 2050. It's a bit longer than the Japanese decarbonization leading areas, but they themselves already set these regions. So this is the reason why we invite Saitama City. Saitama City is the start with smart city project since 2009, and then now this city look for the smart home community development, and then it's selected as one of the Japanese decarbonization leading areas. So we had a workshop last August, and then we visited once a module. It's a good, great, like a pilot study case. And then, but the next question that how to make this area to be zero carbon by 2050 or earlier. So, but from this challenge, before this challenge, we have a very good success case in Iskandar, Malaysia. Also, the in collaboration with Kyoto City. So now I would like to invite Kyoto City to share her experience by video message by the Mayor Kadokawa.
皆さん、京都市長の角川です。
Daisaku
今年は
Kadokawa, Mayor of Kyoto City.
関係充実
This year makes the
で東方政
65th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Japan and Malaysia and the 40th anniversary of the Look East policy. I'm grateful for this opportunity to address you on this important occasion.
使命感のもと
Kyoto's citizens have been tackling the issue of global warming with a sense of pride and mission as the birthplace of the Kyoto Protocol.
その結果、この20
As a
年
result,
海量を
the city has reduced waste by more than half
減らすなど
and energy consumption by 31% over the past 20 years. But this is not enough.
日本の実態の調査
In 2019,
2050
I
年
became the first mayor in Japan to announce net zero in 2050. We are promoting decarbonization in all areas, including lifestyle, as well as environmental education through collaborations between various actors, such as schools, communities, NPOs, and companies.
情報原市
The Children's Eco-Life Challenge, an environmental learning program which originated in Kyoto, has expanded to Johor Bahru City, Iskandar Development Region, and the state of Johor.
その成果を託す
In
前で
2014, Malaysian primary school children came to Kyoto City Hall and presented their achievements. In July this year, the mayor of Johor Bahru, Dato Norazam Osman, also visited Kyoto. It is encouraging to see the exchanging deepening year by year. And now, through JICA's partnership program, Johor Bahru City is developing a facility modeled on Kyoto's environmental learning facility, the Miyako Ecology Center. Through the mutual dispatch of staff, Kyoto's volunteer training system and environmental learning program are being shared.
ごい記念いたしたい
I sincerely hope that this initiative will further expand within the ASEAN region. We will continue to actively deepen relations with Johor Bahru and other Malaysian cities to further strengthen city-to-city collaborations towards net zero in 2050.
カーボンの
The climate crisis is a global challenge that cannot be overcome by one city alone. Let us continue to work together to realize a carbon neutral and prosperous society. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Very much sorry that I had an announcement that now the Wi-Fi environment, Wi-Fi situation is very, very bad. There are many, many activities. So we will Uzi, we prepare the website, and then when we prepare website, we would like to have clear his video message. So then please check his video message through our website later. So sorry, but thank you for your thank you for Mayor of Kyoto for sharing his experience. So next.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think next we'd like to invite Dato Dr. Badro Hisham bin Qasim, the Chief Executive of Iskandar Regional Development Authority, or IRDA. And yeah, he will deliver his speech.
Right, thank you very much, Professor, for Your Excellency, Vice Minister, ladies and gentlemen. Just now we've seen the presentation by the Kuala Lumpur Mayor, and maybe I should introduce a little bit about Iskandar, Malaysia. Unlike Kuala Lumpur, we are a collection of, we are a region in the south of Peninsula Malaysia, and there are 5 local authorities in Iskandar, Malaysia. And 3 of them are of city status, and 2 are municipal towns. So there are mayors in each local authorities. I'm the chief executive for Iskandar Regional Development Authority, but I'm not the boss of the mayors. Since we started in 2006, that's when Iskandar Malaysia started. We've been working quite closely with Japan government and agencies, and we've been getting quite a lot of help on city-to-city carbon neutral collaborations and also other environmental collaborations, and we are quite thankful for that. And for example, we've had close working with JICA since 2010 for the development of low carbon society blueprint for Iskandar Malaysia that Professor Ho just mentioned earlier. And to speed up the realization of the low carbon society in Iskandar, Malaysia, low carbon society action plans 2025 at that time were jointly prepared and adopted by 5 local authorities within Iskandar, Malaysia. And Iskandar, Malaysia started implementing the recommended programs. 60 programs have been implemented and about 200 are still ongoing at the moment. And we have reduced emissions intensity compared to the GDP by about close to 20%. And throughout the years, the low carbon concept have been embedded within the Johor state and local authority. And also we've had a close relationship also with our Japanese counterpart through the Iskandar Malaysia Eco-Life Challenge, which was modeled after Kyoto, that was also mentioned. That started in 2013 with 23 schools at that time, but now in 2016 and to 2018, JICA funded this Eco-Life Challenge throughout the schools, and with training modules for the teachers and volunteers as part of the capacity building. And we are happy that this has evolved to areas beyond Iskandar, Malaysia. And recently, in May, City of Kyoto, Kyoto Environmental Activities Association, and Johor Bahru City Council, the mayor just mentioned just now, together with IRDA and JICA, has memorandum of cooperation on Japanese technical cooperation and the JICA partnership for low carbon society community hub for capacity building and networking as a model for ASEAN countries. And the duration of the projects for 3 years until 2024, with technical assistance to develop a hub with creation of modules on environmental education, capacity building, and creation of green champions and volunteers. Once the module is done, it will be replicated throughout Johor and hopefully throughout Malaysia as well. For this purpose, a local library in Johor Bahru city has been chosen as the pilot hub and to be developed into ecology center, utilizing the technical assistance provided for this project. And IRDA is honored again to be chosen by JICA for this collaboration, and confident with this aid, Iskandar Malaysia commitment to reduce carbon emission intensity by 70% by 2030, and to create a greener and more sustainable yet economically dynamic environment. At this point, I think I should also mention some of the initiatives, other initiatives that we've had with Japanese government, whether through agencies or through other cities, for example, cooperation with Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Institute of Global Environmental Strategies, and Mizuho Research Institute for the Building of Energy Monitoring and Reporting System. This was quite successfully done, and throughout this knowledge transfer, a series of workshops, we learned a lot about how Tokyo Metropolitan Government plan and implement the carbon reduction reporting program. And we use this for medium, commercial, and industrial players in Iskandar Malaysia. And also worth mentioning, I think, is the cooperation with the Institute of Building Environment and Energy Conservation, IBEC, and also UTM for the comprehensive assessment system for built environment efficiency, CASB Iskandar, that was from 2016 until now. And we've created from this collaboration the CASB Iskandar, which we use for building urban environment and also for cities. And up until now, about 11 assessments have been done, and certifications has been done, and we continue to do this every year. Also, cooperation with Toyama City Council, we had our first floating micro hydro hybrid system in the southernmost tip of mainland Asia in Iskandar, Malaysia. And what we had at the time was, because it is quite an environmental sensitive area, we managed to get help from Toyama City Council to try to make sure that electricity, a small amount of electricity can be provided through renewable energy. Also, cooperation with Toyama City Council is the feasibility using biofuel as decarbonization technologies in transportation and industries. We had some issue here because of lack of readiness of infrastructure, and also we use it that for buses and it voids the warranty. So we learn from the technicalities, the problems that we are facing, and we change that to other focus area. So we hope we will be able in the future to propose new proposal relating to electric vehicles and also battery storage in the coming years. Also, one last mention is the Kita-Kyushu City Council, where we talk about the circular economy towards industrial symbiosis in Iskandar, Malaysia. So just to conclude, Iskandar, Malaysia is very much relying on a lot of investment industries as well. So it is very important for us to look on the low carbon initiative, and with the help of all the parties from Japan that I mentioned earlier, especially from Kyoto, we hope that we'll be able to achieve our target for low carbon that we've been putting throughout in our plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dato Dr. Baru, for sharing the Iskandar Malaysia's initiatives. Yeah, like a city, each city sometimes in a very competitive condition, and then it's quite difficult to work together, especially inside Japan, like Tokyo or Kita-Kyushu, Kyoto, they work by themselves. But in Iskandar Malaysia, this is a kind of the space, meeting point. Every kind of technology can get together to make the city better. So like Kita-Kyushu, Kyoto, Tokyo Metropolitan Government, Toyama, any other. So it's a quite interesting experience. And then thank you for your leadership to, having these kind of making space for the Japanese Malaysian collaboration. Thank you. Okay, so then thank you very much. Yeah, now we would like to move to discussion session. Okay, お待たせしました. Waiting so long time. I would like to invite the three panelists. One is the Miss Chu Hui Fong, Assistant Vice President, Resident Environment ILDA. Yeah, please come to the podium, the panel. And then Mr. Hiroshi Uchida, Principal Policy Advocate Advisor, Climate Youth Japan. Yeah, please come to the stage. And then Ms. Haruki Yamamoto, Chief of Events for Youth, CYJ. Yeah, thank you very much. Before starting this discussion session, I would like to invite Uchida-san to introduce what is CYJ, Climate Youth Japan. Some of you know, but some of you may not know the CYJ. So maybe, yeah, ちょっとスライド使うと時間かかるんで、口頭でお願いできますか。So, yeah, can you explain what is the CYJ first?
Hi, my name is Hiroshi Uchida from Climate Youth Japan. Climate Youth Japan is an organization which will consist of Japanese youth from like mainly university students who are interested in environmental problem. And we are established in like 2015 who attend the COP15. And those who attend the COP15 learn about the like international learn about the like environmental problem, and they realize that in Japan many Japanese youth are not interested in climate problem or climate change, so they feel a sense of like danger, or they feel a sense of urgency, so they try to establish a Climate Japan to improve the like youth environment, improve the like consciousness in terms of climate change from among young generation. We mainly active in online, and we have some activities like policy proposal and studying session and like external event or something. If you are interested in our like more, if you want to know more about our like organization, please check our homepage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uchida-san. Yeah, so welcome to this session. Okay, so through this presentation, yeah, like expert talk a lot sometimes. So sorry, but so first, I'd like to ask Chu-san. So you are a bit young, but you have a lot of experience. You joined this Iskander low carbon project from the very beginning. So how do you find that the progress, and also what kind of experience you may deliver to the youth, and then also what is your next challenge? So yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Fujino. Okay, I'm very young, 10 years back. So that first of all, I'm very thankful for the opportunity for me to speak in this stage. As Dr. Fujino mentions, actually quite a pioneer, because I actually turned myself into the sustainability subject matter because of SATREP's project. That way, I have the opportunity to work with all the top researchers from Japan, like for example, Dr. Fujino, IGES, Kyoto University, Matsuka Sensei, Okayama University, and also, of course, Professor Ho and Mr. Chow from UTM. I started with a very humble beginning as a research assistant under the SATREP's project. From there, that we actually learn from science to policy. The first document that we developed is actually the Low Carbon Society Blueprint for Iskander Malaysia 2025 back then. So after that, it's like I get the opportunity under the leadership of IRDA Chief Executive. Thanks for the opportunity that I'd be able to involve more, turning the policy into actions and implementations and monitoring. And throughout the years, I think it's very fortunate that I wish that I'm actually 10 years younger now, Because I think previously when we talk about climate change, everyone is like, no, I don't care about that. It's nothing relates to us. But now we can see that even in COP27, there is a booth for the youth and the future generations. And it's good to see the young faces that actually standing up here talking about the climate change. For Malaysia, I think today we have a very good sessions in Malaysia Pavilion that we are well represented by our Malaysia youth delegations that actually involved in the even in our Malaysia national determined contributions, youth given the opportunity to contribute and to share. So that is something that really good that is happening because youth, they are the future generations. I think they know better what they want in the future. They will live longer than us. Why not let them decide? I think that is something that I learned throughout my process, my career in UTM and also in IRDA. Thank you.
Thank you very much, San, for sharing your 10 years experience when you are young, from you are young. Okay, so then next I'd like to invite Uchida-san and then Yamamoto-san. So through today's like presentation, also the experience by Chu-san, what kind of things you are interested in this kind of activity? And also, if you have any recommendation, any critical suggestion, opinions, we are very much happy to listen to from you. Yeah. So, Yamamoto-san first? Or Uchida-san, or yeah. Anyone?
Yeah, maybe I can
okay,
start
okay.
then.
You are ready. Okay, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much. My name is Haruki Yamamoto. I'm a member of CYJ. Yeah, through those presentations about the city-to-city collaboration between Tokyo, Malaysia, and other cities in Japan. Actually, I'm from Saitama City, so I was interested in those activities from Saitama City. I was proud of it. Yeah, so my overall impression was I was really I think it's fascinating that cities are collaborating each other beyond the border. I mean the country border, and I think it's the way it should be. And but at the same time, I think those kind of collaboration should be broadened more and more. And also, as Kuala Lumpur will learn something, or I don't know, exchange the idea with Japanese cities and get some new things. And then Kuala Lumpur city should spread the idea within Malaysia as well. And I hope this idea from Japan get broadened around the world. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Poho. Do you have any comment?
Maybe I'd like to share a few points here. One is when we started the LCS, Low Carbon Society blueprint, people ask us why call it Low Carbon Society blueprint, not Low Carbon City. I think this is very important because society is the main cause of climate change. The people. I think we can see here, when we say society means the young, the old, the rich, the poor. So it's talk about inclusiveness. So we're talking about how to make sure that no one left behind. So I think this is a very important point whereby we can see here. And for myself, of course, I'm not young. I'm a product of Look East policy. I went to Japan back in 1990s when I do my PhD in Toyohashi University of Technology. So because of that Look East policy, that's why I'm today, and that's why I hope I can contribute back to the relationship between Japan and Malaysia on this climate change action. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Then, so you know that how the Look East policy go well somehow. Yeah. Okay, then I'd like to invite Uchida-san. So your comments, hopefully critical comments.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really interested in the like you create the like local action plan in each five cities, because I think that every city has different background, like population and political situation and economic situation. But so I think it seems to be difficult to create like one like standards to improve, like one standard to implement, like to like step for the cities. So yeah, in the point I'm really interested in. So and after that, I expected to like create like evaluate which point make the project success, or which point will not work as you are expected before. So like evaluating, analyzing the case study, and then like create a little bit data, and then share the data or make the data open, make it public, and then other like cities in Japan and Malaysia and all over the world, cities can like can like refer to the like data, then educate by themselves, and then create another action or such something. So such a kind of like action and openness of the data helps a lot of city to step forward into the like decarbonized world.
Yes. Yeah, thank you very much. Very important point. Yeah, for having the data analysis and then how to having the evaluation follow-up process. And then I think Chu-san, you have a lot of experience and many difficulty to do so. Yeah.
Maybe just share a bit for the experience of Iskandar Malaysia, like what my chief executive Dato' Badro that presented just now. So that for Iskandar Malaysia, we actually from science to from science to policy, we have our blueprint ready. So that for our side, we work very closely with our state government, local government, and also communities to ensure that actually it's not just a plan, but into implementations. Then we go further so that we're using GPC for our greenhouse gas inventory so that we measure our performance. It's actually when you mentions that you are low carbon, if you without measuring how to manage. That's how that is the thing that I think Iskandar Malaysia is driving. Like what our young people mentioned just now about transparency, I think that is a good platform that we actually participate as a GCOM member. So we see our counterpart here, so that under CDP reporting that we actually share our data is transparent. Then proudly to announce that Iskandar Malaysia will actually air list city for 2019, 2020. Even 2021, we still maintain as M minus in a leadership score. So that is what we have been doing all this while. Then after that is like when we talk about future generations, we always remember the children. They really need to know about environment, environmental education. That's why we learn from Kyoto City. Iskandar Malaysia Eco Life Challenge that we have this year is our 10 years anniversaries. And for your information, we have covered all the primary school in Johor and more than 100,000 students involved. That is the greatest achievement that Iskandar Malaysia have achieved. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very well done. And then you also was award sometime. Okay, and so now I would like to ask Uchida-san, Yamamoto-san. So next year, what is your next challenge, or how do you recommend you yourself or any other body? So local case study very good, but is how we would like to scale up for national level or even global level. Then we have a 1.5 degree, like a global stock take, anything, but how do you recommend us to do for next step? And also, how do you like to involve yourself into these kind of activity, if you like, if you have any comment? Yamamoto-san first? Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I'll go first. So first, to make the level to international from local, I think because it's not national, within national, we need English. So I think we have to make the report or the evaluation or those kind of all the information in English and make it transparent to the public. And the second part, how I can contribute as a youth. I I think yes, because it's city to city, city with city collaboration. Um, I would like to collaborate myself with the youth in that city. So, for example, I'm from Saitama, and somebody from Malaysia is Kamda. I would like to collaborate with them. Maybe we can co-host some events to raise awareness. Um, Many youth in English, of course, and maybe cities can have some exchange programs to each other and learn together. And I hope, I wish there's some system like that. Yeah, thank you very much.
So, Uchida-san?
Yes, as I mentioned before, I think that like analyzing the case study and then find which factor drive to success or which factor cause to lose, cause to fail is important, because the city are very different from each other. And then we remain such a kind of data as a like objective data, so that other like city can refer to. And then I want like local government or like national government to make the database to like accumulate the like good example and the tips and knowledge. And then many like local government can refer to the information and then creates their more effective policy or effective action in terms of climate change or local action. And then the next part, how do I improve in this problem, in this action, is that I think the youth has a lot of energy or a lot of like characteristic to make a movement, to make a new movement, a new trend through SNS or something. So I would like to like go to some city and then find like good practice and then take a photo or like post that information on my Instagram or Twitter or SNS, social media account, and then share such a kind of information many people around me. And then the people then my friend repost the like the posts on internet, then they will be spread all around, spread. So that way is made the most effective and most like powerful way for use, or like it's very like that's the way that use could make use could do the best or so. So this is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very wonderful comments. Yeah. And then we found that the Chiba-san, Tokyo Metropolitan Government still joined this session now, even now in Tokyo, it's 1:30 a.m., I think, I believe. But if you can make, Chiba-san, so if you have any comments on the use, very great, their own initiative, if you have any comments, we are very much happy to listen from you.
Okay, thank you, Fujino-san. So 10 seconds. Okay, from the perspective of one of the policymaker, the voice and support from younger generation have a huge power, especially in the process, in the policy-making process. Please keep raising your voice. It's my own. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, Chiba-san is a real person to make this implementation in Tokyo Metropolitan Government nowadays. So she really needs voice. Thank you very much. Any other comments from the floor? If you'd like to share your idea, opinion, challenge, okay? It's okay? Okay, then now then finally I'd like to ask Prof. To summarize, to conclude today's discussion.
I think today discussion city-to-city collaboration here, I think it is a kind of equal partner, a kind of knowledge sharing and technology learning. So that's why it's important. The success story of Japan and Malaysian case is actually the eco partnership, eco and equal partnership, whereby actually we learn at the same time, we share the wisdom of Asian wisdom and how to make our society move into low carbon society and then next to carbon neutral society. And the engagement with the youth, engagement with the so-called poor and the rich are important, as well as the private sector, to make sure that we can move into carbon neutrality as soon as possible. I think this is important. Thank you very much.
Very much, Prof. So thank you very much, everyone, to joining today's session, especially the three panelists. And so could you kindly give us a big applause? Thank you so much. Also, having great opening remarks by Ono-san, Takashi-san, thank you so much. And also Badru-san for your very great presentation. So this side event is just to finish, and so have a good night, have a wonderful dinner tonight, have a good night, and have a good negotiation for the 1.5 degrees. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Terima kasih. Group photo. Yeah. So group photo.